Welcome. I'll turn on the PC and show you the input when it starts. I'll pause it just so you can have a look. Closer I paused, the monitor is still displaying the image. Of course, the 486DX2 I used was with a monochrome monitor at first. Then I quickly bought a 14-inch Samsung at the time. 486DX2, 66 megahertz, stopped at test 4, but it's 8 megabytes of RAM, and I'm going into setup. Detailed this HDD is 40 giga, but in IDE HDD auto detection it will detect as 2000 mega HDD, 2 gigabytes, it detects as 2000 mega. Good that it detects if it works like that. Note that LBA is active, because if I disable LBA mode, it will only detect 504. Note that it changes the number of heads here, so it starts reading as if it only had 16 reading heads. So it will only give 504 megabytes. LBA active. Okay? It won't have the secondary. This computer doesn't have CD reading. I'll save it and put it on a floppy disk. Then you'll see him butting the floppy disk. Vou bootar agora. Don't notice that there's a TV in the background. There's some stuff there. So, butting on the floppy disk, there it is. And back to the screen. Note that it appeared here, user TP, 2105 megabytes, in this case, 2. Gigabytes ports. Note that it detected 3 ports, with 1, with 2, and games ports, so I can play the joystick. I already recorded a video there showing Street Fight, but later I'm going to make more videos. Also show the jazz jack habit, so it already butted on the floppy disk. Just the basics of OS. I put some applications here. I put fdisk, I might need it, sys, which transfers the operating system to the hard disk if I want, and the DM folder. If I type DM, you'll see that it opens Quantum, right? The little screen with the Quantum logo, which is the original, right? This DM is from Quantum Disk Manager. He'll say he didn't detect a Quantum in here. Typical floppy disk reader noise. I'm recording here on the balcony. I don't know if you heard any noise. It's because when I fall like that, it's on the bench. Inside the room, it's more complicated. So I do it out here. These little speakers are here. I won't be using them. Serial mouse. I have a serial mouse. I managed to buy a new one. Thank God. It's there. It's saying this software is licensed with terms of conditions licenses. I can read more, but I press enter, and it says that this device is disabled for HDDs other than Quantum HDDs. I press it again, and it exits. So I hit the DM question mark here, and it shows some commands. I tested several there, but only the one it uses is the final one. That it says it will ignore the BIOS of the HD, at least that's what I understood. Here it is. Bar X, the penultimate one, it doesn't read X BIOS, so it won't read it. So what do I hit? DM bar X. It will open and ignore the BIOS reading from the HD. At least that's what I understood, and that's exactly what happened. He's going to read it. And this, I'm there in the year 1996, formatting the hard drive at 48666 megahertz. So for those of you who aren't from that era, let's see how you get on. You'll be surprised. So it's telling you that it's reading the software without reading the rest. It says that this version is available and compatible with multiple operators and professional systems. Let's go. He said that it could be the installation of DOS and one Windows 95. So this DM is from 1995 onwards, right? Because he couldn't have guessed that the next Windows would be called 95. And here it says easy installations, advanced menu. I go straight here to easy disk installation. He said that he already has, look how interesting, the setup recognized it as 2000 megs, but here it recognizes it as 8415. In other words, it's as if he was installing a FAT32, but I'm going to install it as a FAT16. So possibly he's going to chop this disk into several pieces, which it will limit to 2100. So he detected it as if the HD was 8415 megs. Good. Because in the setup it only detected 2000 megs. So come on, easy. Then it said that it detected existing partitions. I'll continue like this then. ALTC to continue disk manager, ALTC. And he said that the capacity of the disk is 8415 megs, 8 gigabytes. This capacity formatting can be formatted with the capacity of 8415, but he's going to make 3 partitions. He's actually saying, I can also make 3 partitions of 2146. Then he's saying a partition of 1974. So he's saying, we're going to install 4 partitions. I don't believe it. Let's see. It's been a long time. I believe that 2 partitions will work. The other 2, I don't know. So I can, yes, it's started, it's there, it's already detected, it's formatting here. Did I choose wrong? I may have chosen there to create only 1 partition. I think I chose to create only 1 partition. I should have switched to advanced mode. Then he'll be installing it. It's with FAT32. Let's see. Then he'll be installing partition 2. Let's see. No, he's not. Formatting partition 2. Let me see what he's done. He hasn't continued. Damn it, I think. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I think I installed it with 8000 megabytes. He won't. Let's see if he'll boot up. I'll take the diskette out of the drive. I took it out. It won't go straight. I don't know. Let's see what I've done. I think I'll have to, yeah, it detected something here. Oh, it installed, installed msdos. He downloaded these commands here. Look at this. These commands. These files were on the diskette. So he made a sys in C. That is, he transferred the system to C in the boot sector. Look there, beautiful. 2000 megabytes he installed. Now let's see if he installed other letters. D. Damn, let me see if it shows here. D. He did. That's cool. It installed. Look how interesting Disk Manager is. If I were to do it through msdos, msdos would only install 1 partition of 2000. And if I wanted to add another, I don't even know if all 4 would work. So Disk Manager did what? It chopped up 8 gigs into 4 disks of 2100. So this computer here is going to be, hell, it's a lot more than I had at the time. I started with a 170 mega HD, and then I went to 2100. And it took me a long time. So when I went to change the HD, I practically changed the computer. And I got a 10 gig hard drive. The third computer was a 133 megahertz Pentium. So the first one was a 386 DX4, or rather a 386 DX40 megahertz. Then I upgraded it a short time later to a better card in the cabinet itself. To 66 megahertz, a very bad card. It wasn't a good card like this one. It was a very bad card that didn't have the LBA, which had normal mode, so we could only install up to 504 megabytes. And Disk Manager saved the day back then. He made and installed something in the BIOS. He makes a kind of firmware inside the HD's boot sector, as if it were a BIOS, and it starts to recognize 2100. I can't do it here because I don't have a Quantum HD. But anyway, I don't have a square like that. The biggest squares I have here all have LBA. I'm not going to have the oldest square. The 386 I had didn't have LBA, and the 486 I had was very old and didn't have LBA either. So I managed to install it using Disk Manager. And in order for it to work the way I wanted it to, I had to put in a secondary hard drive because it wouldn't recognize it. It's 2000 megabytes, in this case 2 gigabytes. So how much did you install a firmware? I don't know. Did you install a little system in the boot sector? In short, damn, I'm very pleased. I thought now that I'm going to put this HD in this computer, the HD that's in there is 20 gigabytes. I'm going to take it out. Because the other motherboards, incredible as it may seem, this BIOS here is the WAD modular BIOS, and it detected the LBA just fine. In America Megatrends, it detects the LBA. But then it seems that when I install MS-DOS, it doesn't recognize it. So I'm going to put this HD of 20 in there to see if it will recognize it just fine. So at first, the HD in this one has more space. In the end, it has more space than the Pentium 100. The Pentium 100 is 8 or 504 megabytes. So just so you can see, I'm going to restart it. So just so you can see, 4 8.5, 66 megahertz, running with a 40 gigabyte hard drive formatted as 3 2000 megabyte partitions and one 1700 megabyte partition. Using Quantum's Disk Manager then, GSDM-X ignores the BIOS, so whoever wants, I can make it available to you. Beautiful. And another thing that I'm going to put a good one here, it has a bug in the BIOS that no matter how much I set the clock, it doesn't accept 2024. Using Quantum's Disk Manager, where this DMX ignores BIOS, so whoever wants, I can make it available for you. Beautiful. And another thing that I'm going to put a good one here, it has a bug in the BIOS that no matter how much I set the clock, it doesn't accept 2024, it puts 2094. It's not going to influence me in any way here, but it's going to be like it was in 2094. I've done everything here, and it only accepts 2094. Okay? Hope you enjoyed it. Keep in touch and see you next time.